Hi, I'm Rena Greenberg. Today I want to share with you a very powerful technique to turn you off to a food that you don't want to be eating anymore. So take a moment now and think about a food that you know is harmful to you and you know that you just don't want to eat anymore. However, most likely it's a food that you still crave, that you still desire. So on one level, you feel like you really need to eat this food, you enjoy this food, but on the other hand, you know this food is causing you pain, perhaps illness, disease, and definitely contributing, if not causing to, your overweight condition. So this is a very, very cool, powerful technique that I've used with many people. It works for about 80% of the people. Some people have to repeat it a few times. Some people get it after one time. I had a client I worked with about 6 years ago using this technique, and he picked chicken wings because he loved chicken wings, but it was too much, and he was really struggling with his weight. And he hasn't even desired a chicken wing since then. So it's very powerful. So what I want you to do is think about a food, and it could be a liquid. I've worked with people using soda on this quite a bit, regular soda, diet soda, or just all soda, because it's all obviously so toxic for your system. So pick something that you know is harmful, that you are ready to give up, but that you have not yet on your own been able to release because you've given into temptation and cravings. Okay, so you've probably got that. And I've had people pick soda, I've had people pick cookies, cake. Again, for one gentleman, it was chicken wings, so it really could be anything. So you got that food that you want to stop eating. Now what I'd like you to do is think about a food that you can't stand, that you just absolutely hate this food, that it makes you feel sick. Maybe the texture, the smell. I've had people pick lima beans. I've had people pick beets, bananas. Now, you may like some of these foods. I know I do, but I want you to find a food that's absolutely repulsive or disgusting to you. It may even be a soda, so it could just flip, where for some people that's the food they want to give up, and for other people, like me, soda is already disgusting, so we could use that. So you should right now have two foods or liquids. One that you want to stop eating or drinking because you know it's harmful to you, but you haven't been able to because it's tempting to you. And the other food is a food that's really easy for you not to eat or drink because to you, it's absolutely disgusting. Okay? You got those two? All right, good. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to put your hands out in front of you like this, both palms facing up. And you're looking at your hands. Now what I want you to do first, and you can do this exercise with eyes open or eyes closed. I actually recommend that you close your eyes because we're going to be using imagery with all your senses, and it's a little easier to conjure up images with the eyes closed. So if you're comfortable doing so, just go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to, but keep your hands in front of you with your palms facing up. And in your right hand, I want you to imagine the food that you want to stop eating. So for this example, let's imagine that it's chocolate. So I want you to imagine the chocolate in your hand or whatever the food is for you. And I want you to imagine that you can see that food, smell that food in your right hand. Imagine that you can even taste the food, that you're really, really desiring this food. So in your right hand, and let's just say we're using the example of chocolate, you could see the chocolate. All that brown color, you could see the rich texture. You can feel the chocolate there in your hand and smell the chocolate and even taste it in your mind, but you're holding that there in your right hand and imagining how desirable that chocolate is to you, how much you want it. Okay, so continue to hold that food in your right hand. That we're using the example of chocolate, but remember, it's any food that you really, really want. You're seeing it, you're feeling it, you're smelling it, you're tasting it. Use all your senses. And now, you've got that food that you really, really love, but you want to stop eating in your right hand. In your left hand, I want you to put the food that you absolutely can't stand. So let's say it was lima beans. I want you to smell those lima beans, to imagine the gooey, icky texture of the lima beans, the sickly green color of the lima beans. Imagine heaps and heaps of lima beans, and maybe even someone standing over you saying, eat those beans. Whatever the food is to you, pick a food that's absolutely disgusting to you, or it could be a drink, but something that's absolutely disgusting. Imagine the taste, the texture, the color, the smell, all the negative, repulsive associations with that food that you absolutely hate. You got it? So you've got in your right hand, back to the right hand now, that chocolate or that food that you really, really want to eat. In the left hand is the food that's absolutely gross to you, perhaps the lima beans. Now what I want you to do is take your hands and put them together. Rub them together. So now the lima beans, the food that you can't stand, is getting all over the food that used to tempt you, the chocolate. Imagine the lima beans mixing into the chocolate, so the chocolate flavor is now covered with the flavor, the taste, and the smell, and the green of the lima beans. The brown chocolate is now green. Everything about the chocolate is infiltrated by the lima beans. Putting your hands together, smushing the lima beans to the chocolate, smushing the food that you are releasing from your life with the food that you already find repulsive. You're mixing those flavors, mixing those textures, mixing those smells, mixing the associations. Taking a moment to really breathe that in, imagining that food, and now opening your hands and opening your eyes and looking down at the combination lima bean chocolate. And how much do you really want to eat that food that used to be so tempting to you? The chocolate covered with lima beans, or whatever that old food that you craved was, covered with the food that was repulsive to you and sickening to you. How much do you want to eat that food? So this is an exercise you can just shake your hands out. As soon as you get done watching this video, you can go wash your hands. And this is something that, again, you can repeat as needed. You can use it with different foods that you're ready to release from your life. And it's a very, very empowering exercise to connect to the foods, but also the associations that they have for you, and realizing that these associations can be changed so that you can end up really preferring the foods that are best for you and being completely turned off to those foods that are harmful to you. Thank you very much.